These notes go over how to graph on a coordinate plane, and you should have done this before. I'm not sure what grade level it was introduced to you in, but this shouldn't be the first time that you've seen this. Everything that is highlighted with yellow on this page is the fill in the blanks, like you fill them into the boxes on the notes that you should have directly in front of you. And then if you pay attention, even though it's not highlighted on this page, but on your notes, you have to fill in stuff that's on this graph. So a coordinate plane is formed by two number lines that intersect at right angles. And you've seen this before, the blue thing that I just had circled. I'm sure you've seen a graph before. You've probably never thought of it as two number lines. But if you look at it, that's really what it is. It's a number line that goes this way and a number line that goes up and down. Where the two number lines are called the axes. I've never been able to say the plural form of that. The horizontal axis is called the x-axis, so that would be this one. This is the x. And then the vertical one is the y. The point where they meet, so where the two number lines cross each other, aka the very middle of the graph, it's called the origin. You've probably always just called it the very middle of the graph, but whenever you're plotting a number on an ordered pair on a graph, you always start at the origin. The two axes divide the coordinate plane into 4 quadrants. So if you look at the word quadrants, the word quad itself means 4. So when we're talking about quadrants, it's talking about dividing the graph into 4 sections. And it goes in the shape of a C. So quadrant 1 is in the top right, and they use Roman numerals. Quadrant 2 is directly to the left of it. Quadrant 3, and then quadrant 4. So like I said, they use the Roman numerals. That's what this like X, the I, and then the V, and then the 3 I's, but it's just 1, 2, 3, and 4. An ordered pair is a pair of numbers that gives you the location of a point. So ordered pairs look like this. They're filled in with numbers, but it's an X coordinate and a Y coordinate, and that's what you use to graph a dot on a coordinate plane. The numbers in an ordinate pair are called coordinates. I just hinted at that. And then the first number is the X coordinate. The second number is the Y. So you need to have everything in the yellow wrote down, and then you also need to fill in everything that's on the graph over to the right. So let me erase this. Go ahead and pause the screen if you need to get caught up, because I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, so I know that this isn't actually in your notes, but I want you to go ahead and pay attention, because whenever you start onto the next activity, it's going to ask you to write down the ordered pairs of numbers, so you need to know how to do that. It says identify the coordinates of each point, name the quadrant where each point is located. So the first letter it asks about is G. So first you have to find it. It's right there. I highlighted it with red. Remember, you always start at the origin. You start in the middle. And then you go from left to right first, that's an arrow, and then you go up and down second. So I went to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 units, so that'd be positive 4. And then I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. So the ordered pair for that would be positive 4, negative 4. And then if you remember, quadrants go like in the shape of a C, so this is Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So that would be in quadrant 4. Q4. Number 2, I guess it's still number 4. Letter E though. So E is up in the top left. And to get from there, I start at the middle. I had to go to the left 2, so that would be negative 2. And then from there, I went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 2, positive 4. And that would have been quadrant 2. F, let me just pick a different color instead of erasing. Start in the middle. I'd have to go to the right 1, 2, 3, and then up 1, 2. So positive 3, positive 2, and it's in quadrant 1. Last one, H. So I have to go backwards just 1, so negative 1. And then down 1, 2, 3. Negative 1, negative 3. It's in quadrant, that'd be 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3. So that's how you graph. Something that my teacher once showed me that I think is really helpful, and I have this on the graph that's in the front on the board. Everything in quadrant 1, both of the numbers are going to be positive. And you can write this key somewhere if you want. In quadrant 2, the first number is always going to be negative. The second number is always going to be a positive. In quadrant 3, both of the numbers are negative. And then in quadrant 4, the first number is a positive, the second number is a negative, and that's always. Make sure you have all of the front page wrote down and make sure that you're paying attention when I went over that, and then glue it into your notebook.